basically how our data centers are going through these shifts and how we kind of secure our data centers, predominantly on-prem data centers. I think many of you started that journey with your private cloud and securing those. And then how do we work closely with Palo Alto to provide you that consistent layer of security, provide visibility, and extend all of that into the multi-cloud or hybrid cloud environment. Right? So in the next 20 minutes, I'm just going to cover the stuff that we've been seeing within our data centers, how they are impacted, and how we kind of build security solutions around that. To begin with, I think if you just go back some years and look at our data centers, it was very easy to do security. We had this monolithic stack where we've got web servers, app servers all residing, and DB servers all residing predominantly into the same rack. And I would just pick up a firewall, put it into the top of the rack, and then just go ahead and secure things. But things have changed recently with the digital transformation coming in and businesses demanding the next generation apps. If you look at our app landscape today, it is predominantly distributed, right? So you would have multiple data centers where your apps are distributed. There is an adoption of cloud, which means there will be some elements of your application stack that would reside and run on the cloud, predominantly the web layer. And then the database layer in many of our organizations are still pretty much residing into the legacy data centers. I'm sure some of our financial organizations are still leveraging mainframes and the older systems where the database still resides. So the idea is, how do you then secure this environment where your apps are completely distributed? It's no more the monolithic stack, and the whole landscape has changed, right? So if you look at what it has brought to ID, the ID has changed completely, right? So if you have to go back again, the way we used to architect our data centers, the way we used to design our data centers is, lay out a data center fabric inside, ask the application team to deploy applications on that data center, and then go ahead and talk to the business teams and say, hey, here are the apps, go ahead and access this, right? So traditional ways, I knew what was required for my data center, who was consuming it, how was it used, and all of that. Versus if you look at the reality today, that has gone through a complete 360-degree shift, right? It is the business that is now demanding the next generation apps. Right? The business wants the apps that would help them go to the market with that agility much faster, right? And those next generation apps are demanding a next generation infrastructure where developers can simply go ahead, swipe their credit cards, get access to the infrastructure and start developing, right? So if you look at where we are versus where we were, infrastructure was demanding apps and apps were then demanding that the business use these apps in a particular way. That has completely changed. It is the business that is now demanding that the next generation apps be rolled out, and the next generation apps are actually now demanding what the infrastructure should be, right? Should it be hosted on the cloud? Should it be hosted on your data centers? Should it be containers? Should it be virtual machines? And so on and so forth. So if you look at the shift that is happening, we're actually moving from the data center to the centers of data, right? And what I mean by that is, if you look at the green layer where our data centers were, we were pretty much concise within the walls of this castle, right? So we knew what the boundaries were, we knew how to protect that, and everything resided within those boundaries. We knew who used to access this, and we exactly knew how to do security. That has changed, right? With the adoption of cloud, we now have apps that are pretty much running into the cloud, and these clouds are the same way I would do a shopping on my Amazon portal or a Flipkart portal, right? I would just go select what all things I need to buy, put it into a cart, and then just swipe my credit card. It's the exact same way, right? The developers go there, understand what applications they need, what environment they need, put that into the cart, which is called the self-service provisioning and the automation layer. And then you would just go ahead and swipe a credit card and pay for that model where you're running or developing your apps. And that is further gone beyond today with the introduction of IoT and the devices that have moved beyond the cloud space into the edge, where a lot of people have started accessing these applications, and that is the demand. So more and more people are starting to access the applications, starting to look at the data, and the intelligence is gone beyond the cloud towards into the edge. So how do you then define security controls that will give you the consistency which has moved beyond your data center and has gone all the way till the edge? How do you build a layer or a network fabric, right? Truly, the traditional way of doing things is definitely not going to work. Which is where, the VMware's vision last year, and this is something that we rolled out, was around building a virtual cloud network, which is a network fabric, which is completely defined in the software, which can provide you this consistency of laying out network and security controls no matter where your applications or data reside, right? Whether it is into your data centers or moving into the cloud, going into the branches and moving at the edge, right? So how do you then provide this consistency of the network and security controls? This is something that we introduced last year. It's called the Virtual Cloud Network. The idea is to build a network fabric which is completely software defined, to build controls that are intrinsic, which means are part of your infrastructure and not bolted on, right? So the whole idea is to give you this easy click button to go ahead and do security. And I always used to take this example of turntables. How many of you here use turntables to listen to the music, right? If you look at turntables, the more knobs your turntables had, the costlier they were, right? And then suddenly there came a vendor who says, okay, my turntable will have 0 buttons, right? Which means you just simply put on